everybody. Have you ever questioned what is the soul? What is the purpose of the soul? And how does it function? Like, why are we here? So, today I want to guide you through different stages of who we are. So, we have a soul. We can call that the spirit of us. It's our spirit, it's our soul. And that soul has a mind, and the mind has malleable capabilities. So the mind can be flexible, it can be rewired. So we've got a soul which is pure, pure in essence, pure in nature, that has a mind, that has the ability to experience duality. And then we have a physical body, and the physical body actually experiences life. So, soul, mind, physical body. In today's conversation, I want to chat a little bit about the soul because the desire for the soul is to have a physical experience, and to have a truly soulful physical experience is a blessing. Like, that's the ultimate goal, is to have a truly soul evolving physical experience. And the way that we nourish that is we nourish that through the mind. It's a beautiful thing when it happens. So let's talk about the soul. I spent a lot of time talking about the mind. Today we're going to focus in on the soul, because there are a few fundamental facts about what the soul is seeking in the human experience. And the things that the soul is actually seeking is peace. It's seeking compassion. It's seeking unconditional love. And it's seeking unconditional forgiveness for itself and towards others. And it's seeking a type of harmony. The soul is desiring to express itself in physical reality through the understanding of the next stage of our own unfoldment. So the soul's experience is just such a beautiful experience. And I really believe that it's important that we make soulful decisions in our life. And it's the difference between us working really hard and going against resistance in our physical life versus being in alignment with what our soul's purpose is for us to be here. So I think when we're disrupting the soul's purpose, maybe through a lack of forgiveness, or maybe because we haven't grown enough to give unconditional love. So when we're disrupting that, then it tends to isolate us in a very physical manner. And I think it's important to understand that the soul is where our inspiration comes from. And the soul is where we take that inspiration and we turn it into an aspiration, we turn it into a goal. So the idea flows in from our soul as to what it is we're supposed to do in our life. And we then take that idea and we turn it into a goal, and we say, okay, that's what I'm going to work towards because that's what I feel inspired to do. This is a beautiful transition when we understand the true nature of the soul and the role that it plays. So when you think of the soul, I want you to think of peace. I want you to think of love. I want you to think of compassion, and not love in like a very shallow kind of lustful way. I mean love as in a meaningful, deeper, more profound connection from one human being to life in itself, as well as others that are part of your universe. I look at the word universe as though it's you and I in conversation. It's a conversing of my interaction, my observer style interaction with the observable world that is around me. And the understanding of the soul's purpose allows us to walk in harmony with what we're supposed to be doing. It allows us to uncover our truth. It allows us to uncover a type of purity and connection and acceptance towards ourselves and then towards others. So a little bit of information on the soul. I hope this helps you to transcend the mind a little bit. I spent a lot of time talking about the mind and understanding how duality works in the mind, and knowing that something that feels uncomfortable to us, that incurs pain or suffering, is not in alignment with our soul, but it is the path of growth that we need to grow out of. And that's where duality comes in, is that if we're experiencing some type of pain and suffering in the mind through maybe loss of a loved one or a challenge, or things just not being the way that we expect it to be, and us just being hard on ourselves, then the soul's desires we have to awaken to. Because when we are able to awaken to the soul's desires, we can pour some of that into the duality. We can pour some of the peace. We can pour the compassion. We can pour the love. We can pour the forgiveness. We can pour all of that onto whatever that pain and suffering might be that we may be experiencing at any stage in our life. And that will help us in our transcendent journey through this physical world that we're experiencing. When you get into alignment with your soul, there's a certain element of magic that's there, because the preconceived ideas that you have of the outer world just kind of falls apart, and you start to build a more foundationally loving idea of the world and of the people that are positioned in front of you. And that's where true spirituality takes hold. And I just wanted to make this video because the mind is the midway point. At Sublime Knowledge, I spent a lot of time working on the mind, but the mind is the midway point. Ultimately, the ideal level of existence is always going to be that peace, that harmony, that love, that compassion, that forgiveness, and the desire to connect to others in a very meaningful manner. I hope you found this video useful. I felt like I had to make this video for you. Peace and blessings, my friends. Lots of love. Hi, friends. I have some really exciting news. I have just released the Mental Duality Guide to Life-Changing Results. And this simple guide has transformed so many people's lives, because what it helps to do is it helps to open up your awareness to the areas that you may be feeling unsupported, insecure, fearful, trauma that you may have had from the past that you just need to shed some light on and bring your awareness to. And the guide bridges the gap from a negative space over to a more neutral or a high vibrational frequency. So when we see that it's unsupported that we're feeling, we know dualistically that it is support. We need to feel supported in this life. Or if we're feeling insecure, we know that it's security we need to work on feeling, or maybe confidence that we need to work on feeling. And this guide allows you to open up how you actually feel. It allows you to kind of sift through some of the negative thoughts, feelings, and emotions that you might be experiencing, and have a bridge to move them from a negative space into a positive space. I've had so many clients just see amazing results. And me, myself, I have gone to this guide in order to identify thought patterns that I was experiencing and analyze those thought patterns if they were positive or negative. Sometimes we get a thought just like seeps into our mind and we can't really put it into a category. But when we sit with a program like this, we understand what our underlying feelings might be, and bridging the gap from the negative over to something that's going to be more neutral or more positive is the secret to our personal growth and development. And this guide is going to guide you through that. Hopefully one day you join us for the Intuitive Ascending Mind program, but this guide is free for you to work on. It's personal to you. And what it'll do is that it'll open up your awareness. And once you go through that transition of opening up your awareness, you understand the areas that you need to work on. And it also will give you some wonderful affirmations to help build you foundationally from the ground up into a more positive, more happier, more healthier version of yourself, and more wealthier, of course. Peace and blessings, my friends.